Good evening, dear viewers. Welcome back to Eloquent English Enterprise, and a hearty warm welcome to all the new subscribers, and of course, my old friends and admirers who've been there with me all through my journey till date. So, today I'm here with the critical appreciation of a poem which had been requested of me. So, ma'am, this one's for you. I hope it's going to prove beneficial to you, your colleagues, and of course, your students. So, to keep the video short, I'll hurriedly go through the presentation. I don't want to waste time. So, here it is. Of course, a very warm welcome to all of you once again to my channel, and I won't take time any further. So, the poem that we are going to discuss today is Fire and Ice by Robert Frost. It's critical analysis. To introduce the poem, it is a very short poem but profound, which was written by Robert Frost and first published in 1920, soon after the First World War. And Frost happens to be one of my favorite poets. The poem discusses the possible ways in which the world might end, using fire and ice as powerful metaphors for human emotions like desire and hatred. So the poet is worried that the world could come to an end because of two very different emotions, and they are very intense. First is desire, and the second is hatred. The poem's brevity, that is, it being very short, adds to the intensity as Frost delivers a very deep philosophical message in just 9 lines. Inspired by Dante's Inferno and the scientific discussions of his time about the end of the world, Frost presents a concise yet impactful reflection on human nature and self destruction. We feel we are advancing, we feel we are making progress, but unfortunately, man is moving slowly towards his own extinction, right? The historical and social context of the poem is simple. It was written in the aftermath of the World War, the first one, which lasted from 1914 to 1918. And at that particular time, the world had witnessed destruction on an unprecedented scale. It was vast and intense. The early 20th century was a period of scientific advancements, including theories about the possible end of the world. We too, I remember in the 1970s, we were told that when Skylab falls, the world is going to end, but it hasn't so far, and God willing, it won't. So, this possible end of the world could be brought about either by fire from the sun or because of an icy apocalypse, disaster, or catastrophe. Frost was influenced by Dante Alighieri's Inferno, where the worst sinners were trapped in ice, while fire represented the sins of passion. So he was influenced by Dante's Inferno. This poem reflects the dangers of unchecked emotions, particularly greed, hatred, and destructive desires of man. We are not talking about the destruction which may be caused by natural disasters or by animals. Here, it's human beings who are trying to cause a lot of irreparable damage to the very world in which they are living. Um, Fire and Ice was published in 1920, shortly after the First World War. This devastating conflict had a very profound impact on society, leading to a widespread disillusionment and a sense of anxiety about the future. People were scared. What's going to happen to their future generations? Will they live or not? The poem can be seen as a reflection of the social and historical context, expressing a sense of pessimism about humanity's or human capacity for self destruction. Unfortunately, the poem's themes also resonate with the growing awareness of the destructive potential of nuclear weapons in the later 20th century. We bear testimony to the fact what happened in Japan, both Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The after effects are still on their roll, they still continue. This time period also was one of great change and also of great fear. The poem reflects the growing psychoanalytical theories of the time and the focus on inner emotions, not just external, but in inner emotions as well. To summarize the poem, the speaker presents two possible ways in which the world could come to an end, which is fire and ice. Some believe it will be consumed by fire, while others believe that ice is going to bring about the end of this world. The poet agrees that fire, which symbolizes desire and passion, could destroy the world, but he also acknowledges that ice, symbolizing hatred and indifference, is equally capable of bringing about destruction of the world and mankind as a whole. Through this comparison, Frost suggests that both intense passion and cold hatred are equally powerful forces of destruction. Now let's discuss the themes in the poem. All right, there are three themes which have been discussed by the poet. So we'll discuss them one by one. The first theme is the duality of human emotions. Like, for example, for the first one, I can say that fire, it stands for desire, greed, and passion, which can consume and destroy. Ice represents hatred, indifference, and apathy, which can be equally devastating. Both emotions, that is, desire and hatred, they have the potential to lead to destruction. The second theme is that of self destruction and the fate of humanity. Frost, as a poet and as a human being, he warns us that human civilization is at a risk, a great risk of self destruction because of unchecked emotions. He also suggests that the end of the world could be caused not by natural disasters but by human actions and emotions. The third theme, which is being discussed in the poem, is that of the power of simplicity in expression. The poem delivers a very powerful message in just 9 lines. Okay, the brevity of the poem, which shows or reflects Frost's mastery of brevity. His simple language, which he's a master of, it allows for a deeper philosophical interpretation. Now let's come to the rhyme scheme. Okay. The rhyme scheme is simple. Okay. It follows an ABA, ABC, and BCB rhyme scheme. Okay. So, right. Next is the compact 9-line structure. It mirrors at the intensity and urgency of the message. Now, the literary devices in the poem, let's discuss. The first one is imagery. Frost uses vivid yet minimalistic imagery to contrast fire and ice. For example, from what I've tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. The sensory word tasted makes desire seem intangible and consuming. Second one is symbolism. Here, fire stands for desire, passion, greed, and destruction. Ice stands for hatred, coldness, apathy, and emotional detachment. Both the metaphors, they serve for human emotions, which are capable of ending the world. The third one is contrast and irony. Fire and ice are opposite elements, but equally destructive. Irony is something as cold and passive as ice can be as deadly as fire. That's ironical. You know, ice is supposed to be chilly, but it can be as deadly and destructive as fire. Alliteration also has been used. The repetition of consonant sounds creates a rhythmic flow. For example, some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. Some say, and world will. So these are examples of alliteration. Metaphor, the world's destruction by fire or ice is a metaphor for destruction which is caused by human emotions. Next, we come to anaphora. This also is one of the literary devices which have been used in the poem. This stands for Let's just see. Okay. The repetition of some say at the beginning of the first two lines emphasizes the contrasting opinions about the world's end. Now, what is anaphora? I have a complete video on this, but to simplify it, anaphora is a literary device that involves repeating a word or phrase at the beginning of multiple sentences or lines. Like, for example, it's the repetition of some say in this particular poem. It's often also used to create a rhythm and to emphasize a certain fact and to evoke emotion. Next one is aphorism. The poem functions as an aphorism, a concise statement of a principle or truth regarding the destructive power of human emotions. I'll define aphorism also. It's a literary device defined as a short, concise statement that expresses a general truth, insight, or piece of advice, often using memorable phrasing or imagery to convey a key point. Essentially, a well known saying that captures a life lesson or common wisdom. The next one is enjambment. This is the continuation of a sentence without a pause beyond the end of a line. As seen between lines 2 and 3, it creates a smooth flow and emphasizes the interconnectedness of the ideas. That is, 2, 3 lines continuously without any pause, without having a comma or a full stop. Understatement is something which we all know. Frost's casual tone and short lines belie the poem's apocalyptic subject matter, creating a powerful sense of understatement. It looks like a simple poem, but the underlying statement is very powerful and intense. So it's an understatement about how the world is going to come to an end. Now, the interpretations of the poem. It can be interpreted in many, many ways. All right. So let's discuss the first one. Psychological interpretation. Fire in this poem symbolizes impulsive emotions, while ice symbolizes passive aggression and bitterness. Both fire and ice, that is impulsive behavior and passive aggression, both can lead to personal and collective destruction. Second interpretation is a scientific interpretation. Fire could represent global warming and nuclear war, while ice could symbolize an ice age or emotional coldness in society. Third one, philosophical and moral interpretation. The poem suggests that moral and emotional imbalances, that is, sometimes desire, sometimes hatred, can lead to the downfall of humanity and human beings and the world as a whole. Coming to Robert Frost's writing style, we know he uses a very simple way of writing, but it is deep. It has a profound meaning. His tone is conversational. He engages the reader as if he's discussing a universal truth. He has a metaphorical approach. He uses nature to symbolize human emotions and behavior. Remember, stopping by woods on a snowy evening, the way he describes his horse and his neighing and the ringing of bells. It also has philosophical undertones because he reflects on human nature, their emotions, and existential themes. The underlying message of the poem as a whole, I'll go through it quickly because of paucity of time. Fire and Ice explores the destructive potential of unchecked human emotions. The poet suggests that both intense passion and cold hatred are equally capable of leading to destruction. The poem serves as a cautionary reminder of the need of emotional balance and the potential consequences of allowing extreme emotions to dominate our lives. They should not get the better of us. The poem also suggests, that is, the poet suggests through his poem, that human nature itself carries the seeds of its own destruction. To conclude, let's just say quickly, Fire and Ice is a testament to Robert Frost's ability to create powerful and enduring poetry from simple language and imagery. This particular poem's exploration of the destructive potential of human emotions remains relevant today, even today, serving as a reminder of the importance of emotional balance and the need to address the root causes of conflict and hatred. Why do we hate each other? We know we all have to go, we have to leave everything behind, and yet human beings cannot help but fight with each other for property, for land, for wealth, for money. The desires are never ending. Towards the end, let's say that the poem's brevity and this is such a tongue twister, memorability contributes to its lasting impact, making it one of Frost's most widely recognized and admired works. There are other works also, but this poem also is a widely acclaimed one. So thank you, viewers, for watching this particular presentation. Thanks for being on Eloquent English Enterprise. I'll be back soon again, maybe tomorrow, with something really, really interesting. Short one, but interesting. No more poems, no more lectures. It's going to be something really, really simple. All right. So for today, let's just sign off. I hope this analysis is going to be helpful to my fellow teachers and, of course, my dear, dear students. Till we meet again, it's me signing off, saying bye-bye. Have a very, very happy weekend. Enjoy your Saturday and Sunday. I'll be right back very soon. Bye-bye. Take care.